I need you to hear me. Really hear me. Not the way you hear things and then go right back to scrolling. I mean, hear me the way you'd hear a doctor telling you something you don't want to know. Because that's what this is. My name's William. I'm 77 years old. And I spent 50 years of my life running after things that were never going to fill the hole I was trying to fill. 50 years. That's 18,250 days of waking up and telling myself today I'll finally get there. I never got there. Not once. Because there was no there. So sit with me for a few minutes. What took me half a century to figure out, I'm gonna try to hand to you right now. And maybe you won't waste as much of your life as I wasted mine. We all do this thing. We say, I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when I get the promotion. I'll be happy when I pay off the house. I'll be happy when people finally respect me. I said that my whole life. My whole damn life. And you know what? I got the promotion, paid off the house, retired. People respect me, I think. At 77, you stop keeping track. But here's what nobody tells you. When you get the thing, there's always another thing, always. The finish line moves. You think you can see it right up ahead, and then you look up and it's further away than when you started. I spent 50 years sprinting toward a finish line that didn't exist. Let me tell you something about myself that I ain't proud of. I grew up poor. Not starving poor, but poor enough to know it. Poor enough to feel it on me like a smell I couldn't wash off. My father, his name was James. James Arthur Daniels. He worked at a textile factory in Lowell, Massachusetts for 34 years. Same building, same shift, same dented silver lunch pail with a broken clasp he never fixed. He'd come home every night around 6:30, and I could hear him before I saw him. His boots on the front steps, heavy, slow. Like every step cost him something. His hands were torn up. Cuts and calluses and chemical stains that turned his fingertips this yellowish color that never washed off. And people treated him like he was invisible. I was maybe 10 or 11 years old, standing next to him at the hardware store one Saturday, and the clerk walked right past him to help a man in a nice coat. Just looked through. My father, like he was made of glass. My father didn't say a word, just stood there, patient, like he was used to it. And that's what broke something in me. Not that it happened, that he expected it, that he had made peace with being invisible. Something in the belly of that 10-year-old boy said no. That is not going to be me. I am going to be somebody. So that's what I did. I worked. Lord, I worked like work was oxygen. 60, 70 hours a week. Started on the sales floor as a manufacturing company in Worcester when I was 23. Cold calls, doors slammed in my face. I didn't care. Every no was fuel. Every rejection reminded me of that clerk looking through my father. By 30, I was a regional manager. By 38, a director. By 45, I was flying to meetings in cities I'd only seen on maps as a kid. And every rung I climbed, I thought, this is it. This one's gonna make me feel it. And you know what I missed while I was climbing? Everything. I missed my daughter Pearl's first steps. Lorraine told me on the phone from Chicago. She said, William, Pearl walked today 6 steps across the kitchen, laughing so hard she fell down. And I said, that's great, honey, and went back to my presentation notes. I missed my son David's baseball games. Not some. Almost all of them. He stopped asking me to come by the time he was 12. Just stopped. I told myself he understood, but he was 12. He just thought I didn't care. By 52, I was a vice president. Corner office, 9th floor. My name was on the door. People called me Sir. Mahogany desk that cost more than my father made in 6 months. And you know what I felt? Nothing. Like I climbed this mountain clawing and bleeding, and when I got to the top, there was nothing there. Just wind, and another mountain behind it. I remember one evening, November. I was 53. Building was empty. That kind of quiet where you can hear the fluorescent lights buzzing. I was sitting in that corner office. Door closed. City lit up past the window. And I just sat there with my hands in my lap, and this thought came in clear as a bell. This is it. This is what you gave up everything for. This room, this title, this view. I was 53 years old, and I felt like I'd been tricked. Like somebody sold me a map to buried treasure, and I dug and dug and found an empty box. But did I stop? No. It took me another 20 years. I'm a slow learner. Here's what I finally figured out at 73. 73 years old. That's how long it took the truth to fight through all that stubbornness. I wasn't chasing money, wasn't chasing titles, wasn't even chasing respect. Not really. I was chasing a feeling. I wanted to feel like I was enough, like I mattered, like I was worthy of being here. And I thought if I just climbed high enough, I'd finally feel it. But you can't get that feeling from a job title, can't get it from a paycheck, can't get it from people calling you sir. That feeling of being enough, I could have given it to myself the whole time. I didn't need anyone's permission. I didn't need to earn it. I just needed to decide. Decide that I was worthy, that I mattered, that I was enough exactly as I was. I could have made that decision at 25. I made it at 73. That's 48 years wasted trying to earn something that was already mine. Same thing happened with my marriage. Different chapter, same stupid book. I thought if I provided enough, if I gave Lorraine the house, the cars, the nice things, she'd be happy. We'd be happy. That was my job, right? Provide. So I provided. I provided the hell out of that marriage. But you know what Lorraine actually wanted? It was a Tuesday night, raining. We were in the kitchen. She was by the sink, and I was already halfway out the door in my mind, thinking about the presentation. She looked at me with these eyes that had so much in them I didn't have the sense to read, and she said, "William, I don't need the money. I need you. I need you to look at me. I need you to hear me. I need you to be here, really here." And I said, "I am here. I'm standing right here, aren't I?" And she closed her eyes, just closed them, like she was too tired to explain it again, like she'd been trying to describe color to a blind man. We almost split up when I was 48. Not because I wasn't successful, because I was gone. Even sitting in the same room, same table, same bed, I was gone. It took me years to understand the difference between providing for someone and being present with someone. They ain't the same thing, not even close. You can give someone everything they need to survive and still starve them of everything they need to feel loved. We're still together. 53 years this April. But there are years in there I can't get back. Years where she was lonely in a house full of things I bought her. Years where my kids learned not to need me. You don't get those back. I'm 77 now. My body reminds me every morning when everything cracks and pops. Most of my friends are around my age. A few are gone already. And I've noticed something. The miserable ones are still chasing, still comparing, still keeping score. My friend Gerald, he's 84 years old and still mad his neighbor has a nicer car. 84. Still looking over the fence, still measuring himself against people who don't even know they're in a competition. And he is miserable. My friend Dorothy, she's 79. All she talks about is what she doesn't have. Knees hurt, kids don't call enough, pension too small, everything's a complaint. She's been unhappy as long as I've known her. And she's going to be unhappy till the day she dies, because she's still waiting for something outside of her to change so she can finally be okay. But then there's Earl. This man is 86 years old. Little one-bedroom apartment in Portland. Fixed income. Arthritis in both hands. Can't walk a block without resting. On paper, his life doesn't look like much. But Earl is the happiest person I've ever met in 77 years. He wakes up every morning grateful. Not fake grateful. Real grateful. Always learning something, reading something, asking questions like a kid who just got here. We were sitting on his porch one Saturday, drinking coffee out of mismatched mugs, and he looked at me with these clear eyes and said, "William, I spent 60 years trying to be somebody. Now I'm just trying to be here, and it's so much better. Just trying to be here. That's the whole secret." 6 words from an 86-year-old man in a one-bedroom apartment. That's the difference between Gerald staring at his neighbor's Buick and Earl drinking coffee on his porch. It's not money, it's not health, it's not even family, though that helps. It's whether you've made peace with yourself, whether you've stopped chasing and started being. You want to know what real freedom feels like? It's not having money. I've got friends with money who are trapped in their own heads. Can't enjoy a meal because they're checking their portfolio. Got everything, enjoy nothing. That ain't freedom. That's a prison with nice furniture. Real freedom is when the things that used to bother you don't bother you anymore. When someone says something nasty and it rolls off you like water. When you can look in the mirror, see a 77-year-old man with spots on his hand and lines that map every mistake he ever made, and say, "Yeah, that's me. And I'm okay with that." Real freedom's not needing anything outside of you to be okay inside of you. And that takes most people a lifetime. Some never figure it out at all. They die still chasing, still saying, "I'll be happy when." Here's the trap. You think once you get the thing, you'll be satisfied. You won't. I paid off my house at 58. Thought I'd finally exhale. You know what happened? Before the ink was dry, I started worrying about the next thing. Retirement savings, healthcare costs. What if the market crashes? The fear didn't go away when my circumstances changed. It just found something new to attach to. Like a vine you cut from one wall and it grows right onto the next. The fear doesn't leave when your life gets better. The fear leaves when you change. When you decide you're okay right now, today, regardless of tomorrow. That's an inside job. No money can do it. No title, no relationship, everything I thought I wanted. I didn't actually want. I wanted to feel safe. Wanted to feel like I mattered. Wanted to feel loved. And I was looking in all the wrong places. Those feelings were never out there. They were in here the whole time. That sounds simple, like a greeting card. But it took me 50 years to understand it. And I'm still practicing. 77 years old and still catching myself. Still hearing that old voice from the hardware store saying, "You gotta be somebody, William." I am somebody. I always was. My father was somebody too. Standing there with his beaten up hands and his quiet dignity. He was more somebody than any CEO I ever met. I just couldn't see it then. So here's what I want you to do. Not think about. Do. Stop waiting. Stop telling yourself, "I'll be happy when." That's a lie. I believed it for 50 years, and all it gave me was 50 years of postponed living. Put your phone down when someone you love is talking. Look at them. Be in the room you're actually in. Lorraine tried to tell me that for 30 years and I didn't listen. Don't be me. Don't learn this at 77. Whatever you think you need to be happy, you don't need it. You need to decide you're enough right now. With your messy apartment and your car that makes that noise and your body that doesn't look like it did at 25. You're enough. You hear me? You don't have to prove it. You don't have to earn it. You just have to accept it. And if you're sitting there thinking, that's nice, old man, but that won't be me. I am different. I'm gonna get there. And it'll feel amazing. Let me tell you something. That is exactly what I thought. Word for word. At 25 and 35 and 45 and 55. And I was wrong every single time. Everything you're looking for is already inside you. You just got to stop running long enough to notice. It's been there the whole time, waiting, patient. Like my father in that hardware store. Quiet, still, worthy, even when nobody else could see it. You're worthy too, right now, as you are. Now think of someone you know who's grinding themselves into dust chasing something that won't make them whole. Send them this and ask yourself one question. What's your I'll be happy when? What would change if you just decided you were enough? I already know the answer. Everything.